Fighting with Ancient Egyptians, Part 1 in Forge of Empires. This video is about how to fight with Ancient Egyptians. For many players, this is a completely new impression, as you neither have fighting bonus from buildings nor from potions, and you cannot use rogues. It is up to a player's skill only. The first military building of ancient Egypt must be the training camp. This is where Khopesh fighters are trained. In the beginning, these are the main element of all your battles. You will receive a few unattached units, but you definitely do not want to lose these. The Khopesh fighters from the training camp can be trained again if they are lost in a battle. Release all slots in the training camp, as Khopesh fighters win because of their numbers. The Khopesh is an ancient Egypt curved sword. Therefore, the Khopesh fighters are melee units. Curved swords are not thrown. Accordingly, I decide on the team. I use all 5 Khopesh fighters and add whatever has a bonus against the opponent. In this case, the mounted camel archers are great because they have a bonus against the opponent's Khopesh fighters. This also should mean for you, do not use Khopesh fighters if the opponent uses many mounted archers or even Nubian archers. You would lose too many units. In the beginning, move forward quickly. Of course, you will stay outside of the opponent's range. In most cases, there is no risk to reach the opponent's range anyway. For the first turn, you may not pay attention to field bonuses. Move all units forward in the center of the map. This maximizes your flexibility in the second turn. In this second turn, you now must compare delivered damage with the damage you will receive. Generally, this means that units moving early in that turn remain outside of the opponent's range, as they only could deliver 1 hit, but they would attract all hits from the opponent's units. Moving forward too fast is suicide. The mounted camel archers have to fear war chariots and war elephants. Especially these are relevant in this battle and have the potential to kill a mounted camel archer with 1 hit. So I always keep enough distance to these. In the video you see how I managed that. Only 1 mounted camel archer was able to deliver a hit. All others only move forward a little so that the war elephants will not be able to reach them. This way, the war elephants move forward without being able to make damage in this second turn. Now the Khopesh fighters get involved. The hardest job is what the first Khopesh fighter has to do. He will stand alone in front of that war elephant and attack. We give him the best prerequisites for this, as he is moved to a field with bushes. This field type provides a bonus of 20 attack and 20 defense. As the base values are 100 for attack and defense, the bush gives him 20% more strength for attack and defense. Another bonus of 60 attack and defense Khopesh fighters always have against war elephants. This is what we can recognize easily then. The war elephant receives 4 points of damage, while the elephant's retaliation only causes 2 points of damage to the Khopesh fighter. Now we move our second Khopesh fighter to the next field close to the first. This field does not provide a field-specific bonus, but Khopesh fighters have a unique property, swarm. If a Khopesh fighter is the direct neighbor of another Khopesh fighter, he receives a stackable bonus of 30 defense. War elephants only can strike back once every turn, but this swarm bonus will also protect the Kopish fighter against neutral other attacking units, and he gives his neighbor the same bonus. The third Kopish fighter then can defeat the war elephant. For this, he also used the field directly next to another Kopish fighter to benefit from this neighborhood in case he would be attacked. One of the opponent's Kopish fighters now wants to take revenge at the mounted camel archer and attacks him. We stay cool, as our unit will not suffer much from that attack. Mounted camel archers have a bonus against Kopish fighters, so the retaliation kills the attacker immediately. Our fourth Kopish fighter again benefits from the neighborhood to another Kopish fighter to use this bonus when attacking the war elephant. The opponent's second Kopish fighter now attacks our Kopish fighter. As we benefit from the swarm bonus, but the attacker has absolutely no bonus, we look great in that 1 versus 1. Our last Kopish fighter would have preferred to attack the war elephant, but it is out of his range. Therefore, he uses the neighborhood of the previously attacked Kopish fighter and attacks the opponent's Kopish fighter, who exposed himself so much with his turn. The third turn I start very carefully. I do not attack the Kopish fighter with my mounted camel archer. I know he has a bonus against this type of targets, and due to his range, he would not have to fear retaliation damage. But for me, it was important to hide him behind the Kopish fighters, in case the last war elephant would be able to attack one last time. My mounted camel archer then makes surprisingly much damage to that war elephant. Now my other 2 mounted camel archers can shoot on that war elephant from that secure location and defeat it. That Kopish fighter that moved first in turn 2, and his tactics, we already know well from his heroic attack alone against that war elephant. Now his target is another Kopish fighter only, but once again he should receive the best prerequisites. Therefore, we move him to a field with bushes. Our Kopish fighter already was injured from the previous attack, but even after receiving the retaliation damage, he still has better health than his target. The bonus shows an effect. Unfortunately, the next Kopish fighter cannot reach that target. Even if this is irrelevant for this battle, I want to use the opportunity to demonstrate something that can make a difference between win and loss in other battles. The Kopish fighter moves to a field so that he can add the swarm bonus to the Kopish fighter moving next. It is a preparation move. The next Kopish fighter now uses this to receive a double swarm bonus for his attack. As mentioned before, this is not relevant here, but can be very helpful in other battles. As expected, we won that simple battle. But even in such simple battles, it is important to avoid unnecessarily lost units. Now I apply the same strategy to a slightly more difficult battle. Once again, I use as many Kopish fighters as possible to benefit most from their swarm bonus. I use the first turn to move forward. I modify the previous concept a bit, as the first Kopish fighter advances far enough so that one and only one war elephant will be able to reach him in the second turn. To prepare him best for that, he receives as many neighbors as possible. Due to the swarm bonus, the war elephant only makes comparable little damage to our tiny hero, but receives his immediate retaliation damage. Then the Kopish fighter has his own turn, and when the war elephant retaliates, he again is protected best by his neighbors. The next Kopish fighter then is able to defeat the war elephant. At the same time, this is great preparation for our third Kopish fighter. He now has two neighbors for his attack against the second war elephant, protecting him with a stacked swarm bonus. This reduces the retaliation damage he receives. The fourth Kopish fighter can then defeat the war elephant, and all other moves of that turn only bring the units to good locations for the final turn. The end isn't surprising. Once again, we didn't lose a single unit. The easy and normal battles can also be won in the automatic fight mode, but I do not recommend to use it, as you would lose many more units. In part 2 of this video, I will focus on the difficult battle type of ancient Egyptians.